So I'm out with the X-TERRA and the Simplex today. I actually have the Legend. This is the most requested video, is definitely the Legend and the 900. And we're gonna do that out this morning too. So I was going through the X-TERRA and testing over some nails. And I mentioned in that video that it's gonna come stock with -4 or -8 for that first tone break. So what this first tone break is it's where it will let good signals in. The VDI that will let good signals in. And I mentioned that the X-TERRA gives negative numbers, and you know, obviously these were questionable if you were going to dig them. So I was using this in -8. It's going to come at -4, and I'm going to do a separation test with that because that's what it's going to actually come with. And after doing more testing, I've seen on different nails that using -8, although it will unmask a whole lot better, you're going to be letting in nails. Well, some nails. If you're on a clean site, yeah, you're going to use this dependent on how clean your site is. You can go everything -4 or higher, which will be stock, verified that this will be stock. 4 or higher will come in as a good tone, but it's going to change your separation. It'll impact separation because you're losing 4 VDI that will come in. Okay, so we're going to show it at -4, the way that it would come from stock. And the reason for that is you do have the power to adjust this just like you do on the Legend. I know people that adjust it on the Legend for better separation as well. You can do that on the Deus 2, you could do it on the Manicore, you could do it on the 900 as well, but this is how it's going to come from stock. And if you see, if I go over these nails, these are the nails that I put that will false. You know, I've tested a whole bunch of them, these will false. So you can hear even a little chirp on the top of that one. If I go to -8 now, it will unmask better. You see how much I'm getting for a false? So the test yesterday where I went through this and showed it at -8, that you're going to unmask better, but it's really going to be site dependent. So we're going to go through this quickly again, because I know a lot of people have already seen that video. We're going to go through it quickly again with -4, which is verified will be stock, and recovery speed 3. Okay, so we're going to go through these really quick. The bobber dime, same plane. Okay, this is the buffalo nickel, same plane. Buffalo nickel 1/2 inch raised. Bobber dime 1/2 inch raise. I didn't expect there to be so many people that wanted to see the test and the comparisons. That you know, if a couple days goes by, they're like, Iffy, where's the next test? And when I verified this at -8 was falsing, I was like, that's not realistic, it's coming down. And you know, I'm gonna do it again with settings, that huntable settings. So here is the 1 inch raised nail over the bobber dime. This is the one the Simplex struggled with, 1 inch over a nickel. Getting a one-way hit on that. Make sure I'm recovery speed 3. Now watch what happens. I'll just do a demo on this. So if you're at a clean site, you can drop this down to 8. You know, it's not loaded with nails, and it hits it no problem. That's not the nail there. You could tell that's the nickel. These nails come in at a -10, so you would think -8 would be okay. And like I said, you'll be okay, but if you're on a site that's loaded with old rusty nails, you're going to have some falsing. So it's not realistic. Here's the quarter. We're back to -4. Here's the quarter, 1.5 inches high. One-way hit. 1.5 inches silver dime. One-way hit. Chirp. All right, and this is the gold, 1.5 inches high. One-way hit. Okay, so I wanted to show that just so you know you can see that you know -8. If I take one of these nails, like I did test above ground, but you guys know that in ground these will get a lot worse. So here's, let me go back over to -8. Here's one nail, -9, -10. That's what I get on a lot of nails. -9, -10. Oh, that one's -12. This one here, we're getting a chirp off the head. So you'll be able to unmask a lot better at -8. But when these get in the ground, it's going to fool the machine. So you do have the power to adjust that in this machine, okay? And let me get the Simplex. I'm glad that video was only up for a day, because if you did go hunting with -8 in an iron sight, you're going to get a whole bunch of falsing. So we're in part 2 here, and the other video is down. So I'll go through quickly with these just for anyone who hasn't seen that other video. So this is part 2, it's fastest mode. Bob or dime, buffalo nickel, same plane, 1/2 inch raised buffalo nickel, bob or dime, 1/2 inch raised, 1 inch raised over bob or dime, 1 inch raised over nickel. Doesn't see that one. 1.5 inch raised over 1/4. 1.5 inch raised over the dime. Doesn't see it. And 1.5 inch raised over the gold. All right, it's trying. See here the chirp. Really depends kind of where I swing, how slow I swing. Chirp there. And the X-TERRA was in recovery speed 3. So we'll get this video up, and then today we're going to look at the Legend and the 900 over the same test. So the results we've seen so far is the Deus 2 and the Manicore hit these with adjustments. We had to raise the recovery speed. On the Manicore to 8, we left stock ferrous limits, so we would be okay. We would hit these better, lowering the top ferrous limits. But again, I struggle with iron nails now on the Manicore at stock ferrous limits, so that was left alone. Raised the recovery speed on the Manicore to 7 or 8, and we got all 3 of these. On the Deus 2, we actually had to drop silencer to 0 and recovery speed of 4, and then it hit all of these as well. So there was a look at the X-TERRA stock coil and the Simplex, and next will be Legend and 900. All right, everyone, thanks for watching.